Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Folks, out of Chicago, R. Kelly is still in jail. That's right. He appeared today in court in a bright orange jail uniform with his lawyer entering a plea of not guilty to the charges. He sexually abused 4 victims, 3 of them underage, over a 12-year period. Now, the indictments announced Friday by Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx were partially the result of a videotape provided to law enforcement by attorney Michael Avenatti. Avenatti said today that he has another tape showing Kelly having sex with a 14-year-old girl, same girl as the first tape, but a year later in 2000. Now, some of you may be saying, wait a minute, he was found not guilty in that case, but because the prosecutors in 2002 charged him with child pornography, this is a different charge, so double jeopardy doesn't apply. And so even though one of these accusers involves the same young woman who was then 14, because it's a different charge, again, double jeopardy does not apply. Now, R. Kelly has to post a $100,000 bond. The bill was set at $1 million, has to post a $100,000 bond. His attorney says, look, he doesn't have the money. And some reports say young women have been calling around trying to find a way to help him pay his bail. This is still, and in fact, Jean, what's interesting is that one of the women who is a part of this particular indictment here, she went to his trial in 2008. He gave her his phone number. She went there supporting R. Kelly.
You talking about Geronda Pace, absolutely.
So here you have an allegation where a woman who went to trial saying he didn't do it.
Cheered for him daily, skipped school.
Cheered for him daily, skipped school, gave him his number, now says he had sex with me when I was 16.
Listen, I had some breaking news for you in the R. Kelly thing. So you talked about how he needs to put up the $100,000. He had a friend that showed up at the Chicago courthouse today to pay the $100,000, and the Chicago court said, we'll take that if you have the $160,000 additionally for his back child support.
Now, in court today, though, his attorney said that those two things were separate, that he didn't have to pay the child support in order to pay the bail.
That's what the attorney was saying. Literally, right before we went on air just now, I'm speaking to someone who's at the courthouse with the person who was attempting to pay the bail, the friend who was going to loan him the money. Now they're trying to galvanize their funds because you have to have one payment, one cashier's check, one credit card, one sum of cash. So he was going to pay the $100,000. They said, you can leave that money here, but he's not going anywhere unless you have another $160,000. He's got to pay it all, or he's going to stay in jail the rest of the week.
Michael, this is what also I think is a huge change from the first trial. First trial, R. Kelly was still a huge star, was putting out music. They were playing on radio stations. He was still performing concerts. You've now seen over the last, I dare say, 3 to 5 years where he has not been performing in major venues. They've gone after the music on streaming. A lot of stations are not playing his music. They've shut him down in a lot of places here in the United States. Also, if he did perform, it was to half-empty venues. Now, he can't even perform internationally because his passport has been turned over. So what happened was the people have been fighting R. Kelly, trying to bring him to justice. They put the squeeze on him financially, and now he's facing a much different situation in 2019 than he did in 2002 or 2008. In fact, he even kept that case going for 6 years before he went to trial.
And I think the final nail in the coffin was obviously that awful documentary that was played a couple weeks ago. What was it, 6-part series, 7-part series?
Lifetime, 6-part.
And I think with that, many more people knew, because whatever he was able to keep quiet over the last decade or so, clearly after that, everyone knows clearly, or he would have been able to write the check for $100,000 in 2 seconds.
Well, Eugene, what you did have, you had Kim Foxx who came out saying, if you have any information, any evidence regarding R. Kelly sexually assaulting underage girls, bring it to us. So to have a prosecutor make a public plea, then of course you have Avenatti turning over one tape, now turning over a second tape. So what you have is the walls that were protective of R. Kelly, and let's just be clear, when money runs out,
listen,
folks' mouths open up.
Listen, so you got a couple quick hits here. First and foremost, R. Kelly got somebody in this camp that's dropping these tapes. That's handing right over to Avenatti. I mean, these tapes aren't just magically popping up. Somebody in his camp's handing those things over. Secondly, he probably should get used to, instead of asking if somebody has their shots and passport, getting asked if he has his shots and passport. It looks like he can be sitting in jail for a very long time. But I think one thing we probably should talk about is the role that a lot of the new docs are playing and moving issues forward. You know, I don't think we get to this point without that documentary.
No doubt.
And this documentary was done solely for that purpose.
Solely for that purpose.
At Lifetime that fought with her higher ups to put this on when they objected to it, did this because they wanted to free black girls from his house.
And one topic of the documentary, I'm interested to see, you know, the Michael Jackson documentary is coming out in roughly a week. I'm interested to see how the culture shifts after that one drops.
Well,
you know, are we really going to cancel Thriller?
First, in the case of Mike Jackson, he did.
That's the point.
At the end of the day,
and we're not going to exhume him to try to recreate.
Right, you ain't going to exhume him to kill him again.
Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. But I think the difference here is not just the fact that, well, this is what happened years ago, 2 decades ago. That it continued.
Yeah.
And that's the difference.
R. Kelly became the O.J. Simpson of the music industry.
Yes.
Once he avoided justice the first time around, he became known notorious. He thought he was invincible. Lots of people, I know people.
And he was.
Yes, you know why? He was invincible because the girls in his house did not look like Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift.
Yep.
If R. Kelly was into underage white girls, allegedly underage white girls, we would have gotten him a long time ago.
But also, I think he
was also pumping out hits for the entire music industry.
Well, and that's the piece. Look, let's cut to the chase. The music industry is as flawed, nasty, and despicable as any other.
Most of all.
As long as you can keep making money, they don't care. It changed when he was no longer the ATM machine.
R. Kelly can still make a hit. People just got to the point that they we don't want it.
Right. No, that's my point. So when I say making money, the public still has to buy it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so when it changed, look, you knew when it changed when he had a concert in Chicago and he got canceled.
And listen, he's done these tours. The tours are very scaled down. Most times now it's him and a DJ because the tours were being done to pay off his IRS debt. He sold off so much of his publishing, and he was probably going to go to some of the performance rights groups this week, BMI, Sound Exchange, and try to get an advance or some performance rights money to get him out. But whatever the case, he was living concert to concert, tour to tour. He had Germany, Dubai, and Australia that he was supposed to do this spring as a way to get some more liquid cash, but he won't be getting that money now. I
bet he is going to regret it. Like, man, not hopping his butt on a plane and going to some other country.
I'm not going to lie to you. When the indictment came out, I said to myself, if I'm his team, I said, you know, go ahead and make you some friends in Abu Dhabi or somewhere, hop on a plane, get up out of here. You may never come back to the States.
He ain't that smart. Michael, final comment.
Yeah, real quick on the Michael Jackson matter. There's also a level of fairness that's not right about what HBO is doing. And keep in mind, I haven't seen any documentary on Elvis. Didn't Elvis marry a 14-year-old girl?
Did.
So, I mean, where's the documentary on that? Where's the level of fairness?
And they still say he the king.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just 1 month.
All right, folks, calling all HBCU alumni, students, and leaders. Enter the Ford Motor Company HBCU Mobility Challenge and win $25 grand for your school. Building on their long-term support of HBCUs, Ford is looking to improve mobility in HBCU communities through innovative solutions. Now, the winning program will receive a grant of up to $25,000 to implement their proposal. The deadline to apply is March 31st, 2019. Be sure to go to FGB.Life, FGB.Life, FGB.Life for more information and to apply. And remember, Ford goes further in our community.
Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.